Good afternoon to you all. I'm Steve Farrell with the Humanities team. Welcome to our Acceleration broadcast. If it's 11 a.m. Pacific, it's Acceleration time. And we're coming to you live here from our studio in Boulder, Colorado. Our theme today is adding heart to your life. And none other than Howard Martin, who is the Executive Vice President for HeartMath, is here with me. He'll come on camera in a little bit. I'm going to give him a formal introduction. Before we do, big shout out to all of the folks that are part of Humanity Stream Plus, the PACE initiative, which stands for Planetary Awakening, Conscious Evolution, our friends on humanities.team on our Facebook pages, the HeartMath Facebook page, and then all of the folks that are part of the Sign Network where we're broadcasting to your Facebook pages. Big shout out, welcome. Thanks for being here with us. As always, it's a live program. I'm going to bring my guest on here in just a moment. Now just a few things. Anywhere during the program, if you'd like to comment or you have questions that you want to bring to us, just put them right there in Facebook chat. We're monitoring that, and we'll get to comments and questions as they come in. So a little about Humanities team as we get started. We are a global nonprofit. We're based here in Boulder, Colorado. Our team actually is located all over the world. We announced something recently called this PACE initiative, which stands for Planetary Awakening, Conscious Evolution. And our whole thrust here is working with partners like HeartMath and others all over the world to create a fully conscious humanity and to become fully conscious ourselves, which of course is the first step toward creating a fully conscious humanity and a fully conscious earth. There are many challenges here on the earth, and if we are going to take care of and nurture ourselves and future generations, we need to get conscious and steward the planet in a more nurturing way than we do today. So that's what this PACE initiative is about. And then there's something called Humanity Stream Plus, which we'll talk about during the hour as well. But hey, first let me go ahead and welcome Howard Martin to the program. Howard, thank you for joining us today.
Well, Steve, it's so good to be with you again, and with everybody who's watching us and listening to our conversation today. It's always a pleasure. You guys do fantastic work, and it's an honor to be able to be on this program with you.
Well, we're real excited to have you. Always fantastic to be with you, Howard. So let me give Howard Martin a formal introduction here as we get started. Howard has been instrumental in assisting Doc Childre, the founder of HeartMath, in the development and teaching of HeartMath's programs since its inception. He speaks internationally on the HeartMath approach and advancing human performance that is based on compelling scientific research linking heart function with heart, emotional well-being, and intelligence. Howard is co-author with Doc Childre of The HeartMath Solution, published by Harper San Francisco. He also developed Nightingale's Conant's tape series, The HeartMath Method. Howard is a dynamic speaker and has delivered hundreds of workshops and keynote addresses to audiences ranging from corporations to the armed forces, to educators, families, and human service providers. And again, it's always great to have you with us, Howard. And again, thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
So Howard, as we get started, we were just sharing. We were just talking a little bit about HeartMath. You all are coming off of your biggest year ever, and probably most of our viewers are familiar with HeartMath, but if you want to just share a little bit about what HeartMath is up to and these key things that you're focusing on now.
Sure. Well, for those anybody that's watching right now that's not familiar with us, we've been around for a long time, like over 30 years now. We've become what I call a big little organization, meaning we employ about 100 people. We have alliance partnerships all around the world. We touch millions of lives every single year with basically what we call the HeartMath system, which is a system consisting of tools, techniques, methods, concepts, all underpinned with scientific research, technology that's growing out of that. And the whole system is really designed to get people in touch with their heart's intelligence and to be able to run more of that heart energy through their own system, which certainly makes life a lot easier and leads to a whole lot of very interesting and exciting possibilities. So we do it in a variety of societal sectors. Many people like your audience, Steve, that's into consciousness, personal growth, self-awareness. That's a huge audience for us. Also things like healthcare, healthcare practitioners, hospitals, and then we get into corporations and government agencies, and we work with families and kids and all kind of things that we do. And I've been with HeartMath since its inception. It was founded by Doc Childry, our founder, and I've known him for a very long time. Almost like 50 years now. And HeartMath was started formally in 1991, and it's been a slow building process to where we are today. And today we are, I think, making a difference. We're providing new information and new methods and new ways of dealing with life that I think are very important for us right now as humanity is going through this extraordinary time of accelerated change, unprecedented in human history.
Yes, it is. And Howard, when we were chatting here just before coming on, of course, you all are focused on personal and social coherence, and you're really tapped in to what's going on around the world. You were sharing you have been with audiences in Brazil and Greece, all over the world as we're coming out of COVID. So, boy, as we talk about personal and social coherence, that's big and important always, but even more so as we're coming out of COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got choices to make now, and we've been making choices all along. COVID was unprecedented, we all know that. I don't think ever before in the history of the world did we have such a globally shared experience. And it was very similar what everyone was going through and how they had to change their lives and begin to live a different type of life all around the planet. And it's been through various stages and modulations, and it's still going through that and will continue to go through that. But in some places in the world, like here in the United States, we're seeing now that COVID appears to be moving on out. And as it does, what I'm finding with the audiences that I work with and people that I talk to is that we're beginning now to ponder important questions. As we've gone through this, we've become different in some way. I do hear people say things like, I really want it to go back to what it was. I want it to go back to normal. But I think we're also realizing that 2019 is not coming back, that we're moving into a new and different world as a result of this COVID experience that we experienced globally. So it's in the consciousness field right now. People are beginning to ask questions about what they want to be different in their life as they reemerge from COVID. What do we want to reintroduce back into our life that we had before? And what do we not want to reintroduce back into our life? How have we changed in ways that we want to preserve? What have we gained from this experience that we know is good for us, that we know progressed us, that we knew accelerated us? What do we want to carry forward and not lose through the mechanicality of adapting to what we think we used to have? These are all big questions. And there are questions happening right now throughout society that are examples of that. And there's certainly more, but people are deciding whether to become vaccinated or not. As mask restrictions reduce, people are deciding whether they want to continue to wear a mask or whether they don't want to wear a mask. And then there are all kinds of personal decisions that we're all making. And that all adds up to societal and global decisions. What do we want the world to be as we reemerge from COVID? And what can we take forward that we gain from it? So these are questions I think people are asking. Now, the answers to those questions are not going to come just from thinking it through. Logical linear intelligence is not going to give us all that we need. It's an important aspect of how we'll figure things out, but it's not going to give us the total package. We need something more. To me, that intelligence comes from the heart, that high-speed intuitive intelligence that provides us self-security, clarity of discrimination, the birthplace of emotional qualities like love, care, compassion, kindness, etc., that regenerate us. It's that kind of intelligence that's going to lead the way into this new and better world. My feeling all along has been that it's kind of hard time on the planet, and that COVID is just helping to bring that to the forefront in some ways. It's helping to push us deeper within, to find that place inside that goes beyond the normal patterns of thinking and decision making into a place where we access more of the heart's intuitive, amazing guidance.
Yes, amen. So, Howard, as you mentioned, so the heart's going to play a real role. When we even talk about our PACE initiative or becoming fully conscious, as we're talking
Right.
about coming out of COVID, that the heart is going to play a huge role. What are ways that we can bring more heart into our life?
Well, first let me say this, Steve, and then I'll be glad to do that. And maybe we can even do a shared experience together with everybody while we have
Yeah.
this opportunity. But, I think that one of the simplest ways to say what I think we have been trying to learn through COVID is this. We're trying to learn how to get along better, to reduce some of the separations, the biases, the judgments, the arm's lengths that we have with various people and situations, and to find the commonalities. We had to do that more. We had to learn to cooperate more during this time period. And I think that's where heart plays a role. We're not going to get to that place unless we activate more of the heart. We have to bring those qualities to the forefront, again, of how we're living, how we carry ourselves in the world, how we walk in the world. All that is dependent upon accessing more of our heart. And as we do that, we learn to get along better. And it's the get along better part that I think has been missing so much in how we've been trying to move forward as a global society. It's obvious that we see the polarization. We see the differences. We see so many of the divides that are happening in the world today. But if we step back and really get an even bigger picture view, a more top-down conscious view of it all, I think we also see the fact that there is a spirit of cooperation and unification. It's just as strong, if not stronger, than the separation that we see. And it's through the heart that we begin to see that picture, and through the heart that we can contribute to it and manifest that. So how do we do it? Well, first of all, let me say that everybody's got a good heart. I know it can appear that that's not true at times, but deep, deep down in our true, authentic self, the very essence of who we are, everybody's got a good heart. And that heart is not just sweet, sentimental, it's intelligent. It's a high-speed, practical intelligence that heart intelligence provides for us. And we access it at times during our life. It's always there. We're kind of born with it. And what we've been learning to do is to dust it off, to come in contact with it more, and then to grow it and evolve it and develop it. Now, in the heart math system, there are many tools and techniques that are provided through our training programs. We even have technology that measures the quality of communication taking place between the physical heart and the brain and the rest of the body. A lot of stuff that we have to bring people to that point of making that connection within themselves. And a lot of our techniques are intentionally simple. They're designed to make that connection more quickly and to allow us to be able to do that in the context of a high-speed modern world where we don't always have the time to be able to go off on sabbatical or to take that walk into the mountains or to sit down and do a long meditation. So we have the challenge, and I think we've met that challenge, of designing tools and techniques that get us to the connection to the heart more quickly. And during our time together, whenever you tell me, Steve, that it's appropriate, I love to take everyone through a technique that we use for our personal heart connection, but also for the service to humanity.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's get to that here in just a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, when we talk about the conscious journey, often we talk about a process where we're moving from kind of our mental, emotional self, so from the cognitive space here, down into our heart space, and where I'm more I go from thinking to feeling. And for me, it's more of a portal there where I feel more connected to people around me, to the earth, but also to the divine. Whereas we talk about oneness and or we could call it life or earth or cosmos or whatever word we want to choose, but where we see that we're actually not separate, that we're an emanation of something, that we're deeply interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent. And down in this heart space, it's all of the things you describe and more. For me, it's just a whole different way of living. This U-turn where I went from being kind of mental, emotional, cognitive to and living more, I'll call it unconsciously, to living consciously, where now I'm more living in the rhythm of nature, of life, in this more feeling place. which is very heart-based. So this is the important journey. And the wonderful thing about your organization, actually there's so many wonderful things, but is that you've created all this science around the heart that talks about our own health and well-being that's heart-based, but also global health and well-being, your global coherence initiative that's heart-based. It's truly a great contribution to the planet and humankind. So let's go into, would love to do that experience with you that you described, Howard.
Well, let me just if I could, Steve, make a comment on what you said. I think you said some beautiful things there. What you were describing in your own journey and the process you were into and the results of that, the connection that you feel, more integration with what you call the divine, those kind of things, they're all aspects of what I call heart intelligence. They do create that sense of connection. They dissolve some of the feelings of separation. It does increase awareness where you begin to appreciate more of things like nature or, some of the more interesting aspects of life. And you also, again, use this word about divine, sort of more divine coming into your life and through your system. And certainly what I found in my exploration of the heart all these years is that it is through the heart that I make that connection with what people they call it different things. They call it divine, they call it their larger self, they call it spirit. And to me, it's through the heart that spirit integrates more with my humanness. It allows me to make connection with something bigger than my ordinary little personality, Howard Martin self. It brings me into, again, something larger, a more expanded version of myself. And that's one of the great gifts of learning to access more of the heart. So let me take this opportunity now to offer a very simple technique that we can do together for maybe 3 to 4 minutes maximum. And what I'd like everybody to do right now, I'd like you to focus your attention in the area of your heart, just in the center of your chest, that general area of your body. And if you want to do this with your eyes closed, that's great. If you're in a position to do that, so just bring your attention to the area of the heart, and if putting your hand there helps to bring the energy there, you can certainly go ahead and do that as well. And with your attention there, I want you to breathe naturally and normally in a rhythm that's comfortable for you. Maybe deeper than normal, but a comfortable rhythm. And as you're breathing, I want you to imagine as if your breath is flowing in and out through the area of the heart, the center of your chest. We'll do that together now for a few breaths. Now, as you continue to breathe this way, I'd like you to activate a regenerative, uplifting emotion. Just try to feel something like appreciation you have for the good things in your life. Or maybe try to feel the love or care you have for someone or something in your life. It could be a person. It could be a place. It could even be your pet. Whatever comes to you now, just continue to breathe in and out through the area of the heart. And don't force it, but through a gentle process, try to feel one of those heart-related emotions: appreciation, love, care, compassion, whatever comes to you. As you're doing this, I'll describe to you what's happening in your body. Your autonomic nervous system, which controls about 90% of your body's functions, is now synchronizing. Information that travels from the heart back to the brain is becoming more ordered and coherent. That's impacting your brain, open up higher perceptual centers in the brain. As this is happening, hormones are being released into your body that are regenerative. Hormones like more oxytocin, or DHEA, anti-aging hormone. As a result, Your physiological system is becoming more ordered and synchronized. Various systems in the body are working together. So continue to breathe that way. Continue to feel that regenerative, uplifting emotion. And as you're doing this, you put yourself in a position to where more of your divine, more of your spirit can now begin to merge with your humanness. Let's take this process one step further. There are many, many people here on this live stream right now, thousands of people around the world. Let's use that collective heart and use it to serve humanity and the needs of humanity and of the world itself. To do that, what I would like you to do is take whatever you're feeling and gently radiate it outward. Just feel it radiating out from your heart. Maybe like the warm glow of a lantern. And you can assign that to lifting the vibration of humanity, making it easier somehow, some way for people who are struggling so much during these changing times. Or if your heart prompts you, send it to a person or people or a certain global situation, global stressor that needs more heart right now. And just gently radiate that feeling outward from the area of the heart. Okay, if you had your eyes closed like I did, you can open them now. Sort of ease back into the conversation. So that was a brief amount of time in the heart. It doesn't take long. We're returning to something we already have inside.
Yeah,
that was
beautiful and stunning. There were two questions that surfaced just as you were going into this meditation, this live experience, Howard. And the first question was, or comment was from Joel, who said, "Can we meditate from our heart?" And then Susan Hewitt said, "Is there a technique to send wellness heart energy to another person?" Which you got to. So, yeah, that was a real example of oneness, wasn't it?
That's right. Yes, people.
The same thing here.
Well, I want to appreciate everybody.
Thank you all for your questions.
I want to appreciate everybody that participated in that too. Hopefully you got a good feeling inside yourself from that brief amount of time that we did that, but also know that everything counts, everything helps, and that the times that we spent just in service to others are important right now. And in unseen ways, in ways which we'll never verify or know. My belief is that we do help when we do that, to help others and to lift their vibration and their spirit, to try to help them find ways through the undaunting challenges that many people are experiencing right now.
Absolutely, Howard. And when we were talking earlier about coming out of COVID, we were sharing before the program how there maybe is more of a sense of interdependence, planetary wide, in the sense that we all kind of were in our own world before COVID, and then as these infections and hospitalizations and transitions were happening, there was this then shared sense of vulnerability of, oh my goodness, and real caring. But now, as we're discussing, there's this opportunity of how do we go further? Where do we want to go from here to, what are these next steps that we take? And this is exactly aligned with what this whole PACE initiative is, what you're talking about, just elevating ourselves, coming into our own super and supra consciousness, where we're more feeling our connection with the divine in life, feeling our connection with each other in life, living as our higher self. And maybe that was one of the silver linings that was to come out of COVID, because if we're going to become a fully conscious humanity and a fully conscious Earth, we certainly have, we've got to pick up the pace. We've got steps that we want to take. And again, all of your HeartMath solutions, these training programs and things that you've developed are a great contribution. They point us in that direction. So
well, as you know, you mentioned earlier, research. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We had a little delay. Sometime that happens.
Go ahead, and then I'll share. We'll go to a video cut, but go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say, yeah, the science you mentioned that we've done, it built a great bridge between the philosophical and spiritual understanding of heart and modern understanding daily living side of heart. And that's what our science has done. And that's been going on a long time. It's a huge body of research that we've done. You can go to heartmath.org to get the research, heartmath.com for many other things. Both sites are available to you, and we have two organizations, a for-profit and a nonprofit. Two organizations, one mission. We do things differently. We address different areas of society in different ways, but it's all designed, again, to advance humanity. And the body of research we have today is there's over 400 peer-reviewed published research papers. There's over 10,000 sightings of HeartMath research and other research literature. And today, a lot of the research that the HeartMath Institute is doing is around interconnectivity, beginning to scientifically validate and show that we are all connected through this vast web of connections that exist on our planet and beyond. And that, it is about a global society. It is about coming together in oneness. And it's time to take it the next step. It's not an overnight process. It's trying to take it the next step beyond conceptual and great, that sounds wonderful, into how we live our lives. And to do that, that's when we have to learn to back off a little bit on the judgments, to have a little more compassion and compassionate latitude rather than assigning blame, assigning judgment, who's right, who's wrong, this is not good, this is bad. All those kind of things have to begin to dissolve some over time. And taking that as a next step is an important next step, I think, as we move out of this COVID era, is to recognize the connectivity and to cut people a little slack, have a little more compassionate latitude for what people are going through and have been through, and to reduce the feelings of separation and judgment, first of all in ourselves and then with those in our immediate life, and then expand that out globally. And if we do that with more consistency, I think it's an important step towards the future we all want to see.
Yeah, boy, amen to that. So we could certainly see that where it's just a polarity, one side versus the other is just ping pong, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and we don't make progress. Whereas where we step into this, this higher self, this interdependent self, this connected self, then and where we're a healer, an alchemist, where we're not trying to take sides or make a judgment or call somebody wrong, but just model what it is to live in this interdependence, in connection, and to have compassion instead of judgment. So, amen to all the things you just said, Howard. So also, let me share. I want to bring in. So HeartMath has done some just wonderful things with us. Has partnered with us over the years. We're going to look at two film clips from some of these partnership initiatives. This next one that we're going to go to, we created a couple of years ago something called Science of Self-Empowerment. And this was a collaboration with HeartMath, with Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. And it was a 24-module masterclass that's just phenomenal. People still comment on it all the time, write into us. And with very thoughtful comments about how it's helped them become more empowered. And it's based on the science that you've created with your partners, Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. So we're going to go to just a short video clip here. The video clip is called Tapping into the True Intelligence of Your Heart, Your Most Powerful Tool for Self-Improvement. So we're going to go take a look at that, and then Howard and I are going to come back and talk a little bit about it.
how do we innovate? How do we adapt? How do we do all these things? Well, I think that going back again to a fundamental characteristic of heart is that it's our source of self-security. It's the anchor. It's the solid place inside. It's our, the home of our true authentic self. And if you think about it, when times are tough and we need to adapt to a change, something that can be very disconcerting or challenging, very often, whether people call it that or not, it's their heart they're looking for to try to help them with that. It's where they end up a lot of times. If you think about, why in a challenging situation you can't come up with an answer, you dig a little deeper. That's when people will pray, or they'll meditate, or they'll take the walk on the beach, or they drive off in the car into the night. They're looking for something more. So what they're looking for is a sense of self-security. And it's from a position of self-security that we can let change happen, and we cannot be sort of rock and rolled or swayed too much by all the change that's going on. We find our way through that. We find our own equilibrium. We move through that, again, with more poise and more grace as we navigate change. Now, it is one of the challenges of our time, and it requires that we do what we can through whatever methods that we have to find more of that self-security and to eliminate some of the things that we know are draining us, especially emotionally. Because adaptability in the way in which you position the question has a lot to do, I think, with our resilience. Resilience is looked at, and it's talked about a lot these days. It's often taught in organizational training programs. Very often in those contexts, it's talked about as being able to have the ability to bounce back. And your question also, posed that about ability to bounce back from stressful situations. But from the heart math perspective, yes, it is that, but it's also a reservoir of energy that we learn to accumulate. And so we have a reservoir of resilience that we're drawing from. Think about it like gas in the car. How far can you go before the car stops? Well, the more gas, the longer the car goes. The more resilience we have built up, the further we can go before we get to these places where, it's just we're just so down. And so resilience is part of what we share and teach at Heart Math. I know Greg talks about that as well, Greg Braden. You learn to accumulate resilience by, again, going back to the previous question you asked me about what emotional choices we're making. Let's look at it very simplistically and say, think about it like a bank account, money in, money out. I have a certain amount of energy I wake up with every single morning. It's mental, emotional, and it's physical. How I spend that energy during the course of my day determines, what I'm going to bed with.
Okay, so that's a clip from this. This is the free online program that leads into Science of Self-Empowerment, this masterclass that was created with Heart Math, Greg Braden, and Bruce Lipton. Now, if you'd like to register for this free online program, I think we're gonna put a link in the chat here, so you can just click the link to register for the free program. It's called Accelerating Your Evolution Through Science. Accelerating Your Evolution Through Science. And you can also find this free program on the humanitiesteam.org website. So if you go to humanitiesteam.org, in the upper left navigation, you'll see masterclasses. And when you click on it, you'll see free courses. Go in there and just scroll down, and then you'll see this program called Accelerating Your Evolution Through Science. And it's a 3-hour series. There's an hour program with Heart Math, and then 60 minutes with Bruce Lipton, and an hour with Greg Braden. I know you'll get a lot out of it. So Howard, that little clip brought in a lot of important things, resilience and other things as well, huh?
Well, my first comment on it is this: is that I want everybody to know that I actually own more than one shirt. I had on the same shirt that I got today. I do have more than one shirt. Let's make that clear. Yeah, that was a while back, and I think that was the pre-interview that we did for the course that we actually created. We created this wonderful course. Greg and Bruce, and then Deborah Rosman and myself. There's 4 of us in this. All did our own courses, part of the course, and combined, it's a whole lot of really cool information that's in that. Different points of view and perspectives. A lot of science in that one, I think. And it was really cool to do it. But it was just me and being able to to do like a little mini heart math workshop, from my office. It was pre-COVID actually, but it was a harbinger of new things to come, I think, when we did that. Yeah, and I do have another shirt.
Yes, it was. And Deborah Rosman, as you mentioned, who's another Howard's partner there at Heart Math, she was in it also, very powerful. Deborah's a great friend as well. Now, so this program, Science and Self-Empowerment, as I mentioned, it's actually been one of our biggest programs over the years as we talk about creating a fully conscious humanity and a fully conscious self. This program is a gold mine. It's a true treasure. Now, you can find the program on the Humanities Team site up at that masterclass navigation. You can come down and scroll down and you'll see Science and Self-Empowerment. Or you can also go to humanitystream.tv, or from our homepage, you can just click through to the Humanity Stream Plus platform. And this is that groundbreaking platform that it's the strategy, it's the real tool set for supporting this whole PACE initiative. When we talk about in 20 years having a fully conscious humanity, a fully conscious Earth, that's either a bold and crazy vision, or if there's some seriousness to it, you better have something that you can talk about that can make a lot of things happen quickly. And this Humanity Stream Plus initiative, we put you'll see 10 master classes there. There currently are 10 additional transformational education programs, and there's over 550 hours of conscious programming there. I say groundbreaking because it's got this graphical, intuitive interface that's like an entertainment streaming platform like Netflix or Amazon. You can't get lost. It's not in our industry, there's kind of a clunky system that almost all of the transformational education companies use to park their master classes. And it's hard, candidly, to get from one module to the next, and then it's even harder to get to the next master class from the first master class. This is, you just point and click. My 87-year-old mom who won't use computers anymore doesn't get lost on Humanity Stream Plus. So it's also got this $497 price tag for all of these over 550 hours of programming. And it starts with a free trial, a 7-day free trial. So you can go to humanitystream.tv, you can check it out. And we invite people that are on this conscious journey and that resonate with the conscious media that we have there, to check it out on the 7-day free trial. There's also then a 7-day guarantee. So you've got a couple weeks that's all on Humanities Team. And if you find that it does support your conscious journey and those in your household, and for that matter, workmates, your partners at work, check it out, subscribe. You'll get a heck of a lot out of it. And it's easy. The awakening part, or becoming conscious as we awaken to kind of what consciousness is the easy part. Developing the skills to really live in a fully empowered way, a fully conscious way, where our heart is our hub. And there's so much more, where we're healing trauma, where we're understanding how to be a conscious leader, where we're understanding how to be fully empowered. There are many dimensions to living consciously, and what we are on the lookout for as a global nonprofit are master classes that we can create that contribute to that, and other master classes that have already been created that are being brought to the platform. We're going to go in a little bit to other media that HeartMath just brought to the platform, which is part of Humanity Stream Plus too. So Science and Self-Empowerment is one of the big master classes that's on the platform. There's now another HeartMath program. In fact, why don't we, let's go ahead and go cut over to just a short segment of this other media. This is called Add Heart Facilitator Program. It's from Module 5. And this is a transformational education program that HeartMath just brought to Humanity Stream Plus. So let's go take a look at that, and then Howard and I will come back and talk about it.
In this module, we want to take sharing to the next level. And one thing I've learned is that life works best for me when I'm giving more to it than I'm trying to take from it. Another belief I've developed along the way is that whatever I gain in life that I find valuable, I need to find ways to share it. I've had many experiences in seeing someone change from just adding a little heart so many times that there's no one single experience I can look to. But I will say this. There have been many times when just the smallest amount of adding a little heart, such as being kinder, understanding, or compassionate, has lifted the spirits of another human being. A little extra care sent someone's way rather than a predictable reaction to judging them, speaking to them harshly, or offering them some stern, well-meaning advice can make a lot of difference. Offering compassionate feelings and a view is often it's all that is needed. Those little moments in time really can create a sparkle in other people, and it makes me feel good about what I'm doing, about what I'm contributing to life. Sharing a technique, explaining some heart math science, those are effective ways to share. But it's also the little things, the small things you can do that can make a difference in the lives of another. It's sharing your own heart with another human being that's going to provide the fulfillment as you see their heart open up. Now, as I mentioned before, your own practice is key in the process of sharing, as you can't give what you don't have. Learning and growing and developing a connection with your own heart is the first step in sharing, and that's what you've been doing. The sharing component starts with you, with your own practice, with how you are increasing your own heart coherence baseline and demonstrating more heart-based qualities in your interactions with others. The development of your connection to your heart is actually an act of self-care and an act of service for others. When we make changes in ourselves, it helps others make changes. Now, what I'm going to do next is just share a couple of simple overview tips related to sharing. First of all, when sharing what you're learning in this course, just keep it simple. You can overdo it with people a lot of times by trying to explain too many things. So don't worry about getting everything just right or getting the steps exactly right in your techniques. Just use your heart's intuitive intelligence to guide you in that process. Here's something else I'd like you to know. If you observe life, you'll see the same, I think. Heart is being talked about a lot now. People want more heart qualities in their lives. They want the benefits associated with heart. Executives talk about heart now. Athletes talk about heart. Many people are talking about heart now, so you don't have to be as concerned that it's going to be characterized as something soft or sentimental. Just see adding heart as adding an energy or an intelligence that increases awareness and improves the health and connection that people have.
Beautiful, boy. Nice clip there, Howard. And you do indeed have a larger wardrobe. That was.
You're right. You got to just play that clip to clear that up for everybody. Yeah, during the last couple, 3 years, what I've done, Steve, is rather than writing books and things like that, I've moved into providing film-based learning experiences. And so in consort with the team here at HeartMath and third-party producer, filmmaker people, I've been creating these learning program experiences. And the newest one that we released earlier this year was one we created last year in 2020 that I created during the pandemic, during the time when we were away from here at HeartMath because of forest fires, when we were evacuated for over a month. And that clip of me and that was done, maybe a few weeks after I got back, 2 weeks after I was able to return home last summer. But it's called the Add Heart Facilitator Program, and through a business arrangement with Humanity Stream, we've made it available to the Humanity Stream subscribers on the Humanity Stream platform. It's divided into modules. It basically is, there's 3 things I want people to do in this program. I want them to learn more heart math. I want them to practice it, so there's practices in there, and I want them to learn how to share it. So it's not a formal certification program, we have those, but it is the first important step in helping people understand how they can share more of their heart with others and move into a more formalized heart math training. So it's available on Humanity Stream now. Within that program, there's instruction on how to use our technology, the Inner Balance Trainer. And it's mentioned throughout the program. So you can watch this program and get a lot out of it. Without that, but it's recommended that if you really want to get the maximum out of the Add Heart Facilitator program, that you go to the heartmath.com website and you purchase a sensor. But it's not a prerequisite. You don't have to have it, but it just would make the course even better. So I'm glad we have it on Humanity Stream. It's really cool to have it up there. I hope that it reaches a lot of people, and I hope that people gain something from it to where they feel informed and inspired to go out into the world and share their heart with others.
Yeah, it's a beautiful program, and that short segment certainly brought that through. That was just a little 2-minute clip, so you can imagine what that full transformational education program is. Very powerful, and again,
It's a couple hours long, I think.
Partner.
Yeah, a couple hours of content, 6 modules. Yeah, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of of content there. We've had it in audio here at HeartMath for a while, and thousands of people took it and loved it in audio, but we kept hearing from them that we wish you would do this in video. So that's where that one came from. So I had another one I did previous year, which is the HeartMath Experience. I'm doing another one now for another organization in Europe. It's a bigger program even than that. It's over 2 hours long. So the visual medium speaks to me more now. And writing books is fine, but I can sort of write in a way, but also bring things to life in a visual context that I think can have even more, let's just call it emotional transfer. And that's been my preferred method of content development these days, is these learning programs.
Yeah, well, master classes this is why they're so powerful. Is they're very, when they're created thoughtfully, as this program was, they're very sticky. And I was mentioning earlier, the aspect of just awakening. So for me, in the 1990s, I read the Conversations with God series, those first 3 books that came out, and this was the awakening phase. It's easy to just kind of understand what conscious living is cognitively, to just have the basic awareness of what it is. Now, it's more challenging to really bring all of those skills through and to start embodying all of these teachings and for your whole life to change which then means your household, how you communicate with your wife, your kids, how you work with your coworkers. That's more work, and that's what this whole Humanity Stream Plus platform is about. It's about just find really excellent programs like this Heart Facilitator program from HeartMath that's helping us to understand how to really live consciously in a very full and powerful way. So I want to share, so this program, the Science of Self-Empowerment program, are on the platform, but also people that are on our email list. Of course, we're in a campaign right now called Daring to Live an Authentic Life, and it's with Mark Nepo and Chris Carr, which is also an incredibly powerful program. It's about living courageously. And if you know Mark Nepo, he had stage 4 cancer twice. Chris Carr still has a cancer that will end her life. So wow, I mean, 2 amazing people that talk about how to overcome challenges, even up to and including death. And these are just a few of the programs on the platform. If you go to, again, humanitystream.tv or go to the Humanities Team website and just scroll down to there's a little section there on Humanities Stream Plus, and you can just page through. It'll take you to that graphical, intuitive interface. Now, the reason we call it Humanity Stream Plus is there are things that are well beyond just those master classes that you can see on the site. There are free completion certificates. So after you go through Science of Self-Empowerment, if you want a completion certificate, so on your resume or CV, you can indicate that you've been through this training. You'll get that automatically with all of the master classes as you go through them. There's live mentoring. So Mark Nepo, Chris Carr, they're doing live mentoring here very shortly, and you're invited to those programs. Suzanne Hubbard, who is Barbara Marx Hubbard's daughter, is actually doing a program with us here Thursday next week, and that is part of the live mentoring. So there's live mentoring every month that you're invited to, and you're on the camera there live speaking to these amazing instructors that are like Howard Martin. Other things too, we do the Global Oneness Summit. There's a $97 upgrade, and that's free to people that are part of Humanity Stream Plus. There's actually a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to try and get to anything more, but there's this 7-day free trial. So just invite you to go check out the platform, and then if it resonates, try it on us. So it's 2 weeks free on us. So Howard, let me come back to you here. Wow, this has been really fantastic what we've done so far. We've looked at 2 segments. One from this free video series that was the lead-in to Science of Self-Empowerment, and then this Heart Facilitator training, which is this new platform that you've just brought to, or video series that you've brought to Humanity Stream Plus. And then you did a live experience with us. So we can do a lot in an hour, can't we?
Yeah, we sure can. We've made good use of time so far.
And Howard, where are you coming from? Just we're live. Of course, I'm coming from Boulder, Colorado. Where are you coming in from?
I'm in HeartMath is located in Northern California. We're in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which is south of San Francisco, and I'm in a little studio that we built here during COVID for this type of broadcast, because this certainly is the way in which we are doing things now. Hopefully, post-COVID, I'll be back out live, but I haven't been on a stage in front of an audience since February of 2020, so it's been a while. So we built this, and this is in Northern California, again, about an hour south of San Francisco, in these beautiful, gentle mountains here called the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I think it might even, is it Boulder Creek there in?
Yeah, Boulder Creek's the name of the town. Yeah, it's a little town. I know it very well. I haven't been anywhere but Boulder Creek for a really long time.
Yeah, well, I bet it's gorgeous down there, and I know Bruce Lipton lives down, or part of the year anyway, down in that area. So
he lives about 30 minutes from me. I never see him; he never sees me. But because we're both out, when we usually see each other when we're speaking at an event somewhere together, we laugh about that.
Well, he's another marvelous individual. Well, I just love Bruce. Greg Braden also. We're just blessed to be partners with them also. So this whole science of the mind, body, and heart, and the relationship here, and Global Coherence Initiative, do you want to, is there a little more you might like to share? Again, there's so many valuable, the kinds of things that you all are doing with your research really stand out. There's not a lot of organizations focusing where you are, and it's so valuable what you're doing.
Our research allowed us to tell a new story about heart, and we did it through looking at the physical heart, which understanding the physical heart differently allowed us to then have more belief in what we've been told about heart, read about heart, studied about heart for thousands of years. And basically what we discovered through our research and collaboration with other researchers, and research that was actually already there, scattered through the research literature, we are able to clearly show that the heart is more than just a cardiovascular organ, that it's an information processing center in the body. It's sending very important information to the brain and throughout the entire system. And as we learn to improve that communication, that's when we get healthier and smarter. And that was a pretty quick summary of our research, I think. That research expanded a long way into many areas of understanding the physical heart, the physiology of our own physiology, health studies. It's gone into social science research, what happens to groups of people, how do groups of people work together better. On and on it goes, all the way now to global coherence, which you mentioned, where our nonprofit, the HeartMath Institute, has a initiative, Global Coherence Initiative. We've had for about 8 or 9 years now. I'm one of the steering committee members, so is Greg Braden and some others. And basically what this is we're looking at the energetic connection between humans and the earth itself. We do that by studying the Earth's energetic fields, the geomagnetic field and the ionosphere. So the Institute's placed sensor sites around the planet called Global Coherence Monitoring Sites with very sophisticated technology looking at changes in the Earth's energetic fields and doing experiments and doing observations to, first of all, understand how these fields are affecting us. We know they are. There's a lot of published research on it already. But to further understand how the fields affect us, which contributes to the understanding of that we're all connected. Ultimately, we are testing a hypothesis, which will take a long time to see if it's true or not true. But the hypothesis proposes that we, the humans on the planet, the 8 billion of us right now, are putting out enough energy, magnetic energy from the heart for starters, that we are in turn impacting the fields. That not only are the fields impacting us, but there's a two-way conversation going, and that we are impacting the fields through what we think and what we feel. It's important research. I can't say that it's true or not true at this point. That would be unfair to the research protocols and processes. I can say this, if it proves to be true, what we would be proving is that all of our prayers, our meditations, our thoughts, our intentions, our affirmations really do count, and they are actually measurable through science. That would be a big jump in understanding the power of consciousness, because when science proves something to be true, it increases the power of belief. And when the power of belief increases, the power of effectiveness increases. So it's important research, and that's what we're undertaking in these times, as well as doing everything we can to serve the heart of humanity and to bring people the tools and techniques and new understandings they need to make life a more fulfilling experience. And that's what we do here at HeartMath.
Yeah, beautiful and important work. Very important research. Howard, what websites would you refer people to where they want to work more closely with you?
HeartMath.com is where you get to see a lot of information, especially about our technology and science and a lot of the training programs. HeartMath.org is the Institute site. They also have the training programs and things there as well, and they have a lot of things for kids and children, and that's where all the research stuff is published. And that's a general understanding of both sites, but visit both. And of course, we have the Facebook stuff as well. We have the large Facebook followings through, Facebook groups that have well over 500,000 people in each one. There's all this stuff, the usual stuff. If you Google HeartMath, you can stay busy a long time. But HeartMath.org, HeartMath.com are great starting points. There's a lot of things that are there for you that are free. There are many things that you can purchase. There's certification programs, lots of different ways in which you can participate in and benefit from this 30 years of work that we've done. So just look at it as an adventure, explore the world of HeartMath, and go in there and see if there's something that resonates with you. Hopefully there will be. But if you never did anything formally with us, just recognize that you have a beautiful, magnificent heart, and that it's people like you that are participating in a program like this right now, giving your time and attention, that are doing great service to humanity and really represent the hope for the world. So I want to honor you for that, and honor you for the heart that you have inside, and for who you are and what you're really doing out there. Even if you don't think it's a big deal, my belief is that you're making a difference.
Yes, boy, big bow to the viewers out there, because it's all of us together that are on this conscious journey that are making this happen in our own households and all over the world. So big bow to all of you viewers. Yeah, and thank you for being here. Let me get to a couple other comments here. So Aaron asked, how does one know when they are fully conscious? Let me take a shot at that, and then Howard may want to add to it here as well. So how I would know is it's this whole process of coming down from this cognitive self with checklists. I used to have a day planner. I don't anymore, though some people still do that are conscious. But for me, it's moving from being transactional to relational. So being heart-based, where I'm in this place of connection. One could even call it communion with the divine and the earth and life and humankind. And when I'm in this place, I'm in a place of flow. So those of you that are scuba divers and that have done drift diving and know where you just have your arms out and it's just effortless, and you're just in this place of flow where you feel like as a cell to this whole earth, this whole body of humankind. And as a cell, of course, then as a healthy cell, we're in service to others, to the earth and to other people. And it's not that we're trying to do everything, because we can't, but where a family picks one project, one thing that they're really important, that's really important to them, and they get involved. And where we all do that together, then this thing that mothers sometimes share, many hands make light work, happens. We're in a state of we're of fulfillment. We're not the stress and worry and challenge. And it's not that those things don't go away, at least the challenges don't go away, because challenges continue, but stress and worry are greatly diminished when we're fully conscious. For me, this is when I would describe it as in a place of understanding my true self, which is the eternal self, the limitless self, that I'm not just here embodied for one lifetime as Steve Farrell, that we have the same essence and substance as the divine, which means that we're eternal and limitlessness. So I'm in touch with that sense of eternal life, which is a very different kind of life than where it's measured just in months and years that we're on this planet. So that would be a start at it. I could share more, but actually, let me throw the next question then to Howard. And we're going a little over. We won't go much longer here. We go an hour. But this next question is, how do you measure planetary awakening, create a fully conscious humanity? What's the metric? So Howard, is there anything that you all would talk about relating to that question?
I don't know
That's
that you
from
can measure that.
Dinah.
Yeah, I don't think you can measure that with traditional science. You're really talking about a dimension there that you're trying to measure. And you can't measure the next dimension with the equipment from this dimension. So it's difficult to quantify that in a numerical sense or whatever. I think you just have to look at the signs and manifestations of it as it unfolds. Science doesn't prove everything. Our own self-observation, our own self-scientists can begin to see where we are sort of along the way. To do that, though, we have to be able to disassociate a little bit from the chaos and confusion and the roar of ambition and survival, and be able to step back and take a good look. And you can quantify a lot for yourself that way without, formal science coming in and putting out a hard number of some kind. If I understood the question right. Is there a metric we can use? I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, there's been lots of attempts at that, but I don't know that they really can measure what we're trying to say, or what we're trying to get to as a global society. I think that shows itself through how society functions, and how we innovate, how we manifest more resiliency in our life, and how, again, saying something I said at the beginning of our time together, how we learn to get along better. Those are all going to be important benchmarks, and you can see those for yourself through the own self-scientists that you have inside.
Yes, you will, and I'll just add to that. We'll know it when we're there. So I think we'll all know it when we're there.
Well, I don't know that there isn't there. That's the whole point. Your previous question was how do you know when you're fully conscious? I don't think that's an absolute state. I think it's an evolving state. I think that step by step, it's moment to moment. It's keys to that would be things like, when you find yourself that you're giving more to life than you're trying to take from it, and that feels the best. That feels good. When that's acceptable, when that is fulfilling. Yeah, that's a conscious state, but it's moment to moment and stepping stone. And I think this unfolding process we're in, this magnificent adventure really that we're all in together right now, is producing results as quickly as it can. And that it's all in right timing, that we're moving in the right direction. I know there's tons of problems, and there's going to be more. And I get that part, and my heart goes out to the people directly affected, and offering my compassion and love. But when I step back and get to my higher place as best I can, I think I see that a beautiful picture unfolding. I think we're moving in the right direction, and I think the best is yet to come. And I think that we are evolving so fast right now, faster than we realize, until we begin to look at it through the rearview mirror and say, wow, I used to be this way and I'm this way now, and then we begin to see it. But that evolutionary process is really ramped up right now. We're taking major leaps, or we can be taking major leaps in the course of a week or a month, much less a year. It's moving that quickly now, and there's great opportunity in that, and great hope for our future, because the acceleration, which is sort of the theme of this program, to me is a real thing. It's happening right now. We just have to find our way to flow with it more, and to be willing to change, willing to learn, willing to grow, and willing to accept something new and different.
Yes, indeed. It's transformative, that's for sure. If I go back to the 1990s when I was the CEO in Silicon Valley, and the person then, and I was on the Myers-Briggs, I was an ENTJ, which is kind of a common profile for somebody leading a company. I'm not an ENTJ now, I can promise you, because part of that is thinking. That's the T in the ENTJ. It's transformative. Our life is so different. It's so much richer, and prosperity has. When we're unconscious prosperity, we tend to think more of kind of in financial terms, which is important. But as conscious people, prosperity is so much richer. There's so many things that we're feeling into where we're in service and where we're living in a more thoughtful and closer way with those in our home and our coworkers. It's a whole new way of living on the earth. I'm actually just completing a book which will come out soon. It's called Beyond the American Dream: Making the Leap from Silicon Valley Success to Support for All Those on the Conscious Journey. And this book is about this. Is about becoming fully conscious, and it's about planetary awakening. So we'll share more when that's available. So let me come back to the PACE initiative, which is so important to, I think, the whole of humankind. Planetary awakening and conscious evolution. If you're interested in that, check out our Humanities Team website, humanitiesteam.org. Just scroll down. You don't have to scroll down far. You'll see a whole section on PACE. And we invite you to join with us. This is a level playing field. It's all of us here on the earth coming together, HeartMath and Humanities Team, and you, the viewers, other thought leaders all over the world coming together to just create this fully conscious self, this fully conscious humanity and fully conscious earth in 20 years. So check us out at our website, humanitiesteam.org, and join with us. Now, with that, I want to thank Howard Martin for being our special guest during the hour. Howard and HeartMath, thank you. You guys, you're terrific, and your organization is fantastic. And Deborah Rosman and Doc Childre, hey, thank them for us. You guys are doing such great work.
I'll sure do that. I'll see them later today, and I will definitely let them know. And thank you for the relationship we have with Humanities Team. You guys have been great partners with us. You've been very kind and very caring to HeartMath. Thank you for that. And again, let's go back now, Steve, with both of us and just send our heart out, put our heart out to everybody that's given their time and attention to this, and honor you for the work that you're doing in the world. And thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of our program today. Let's take whatever we've gained, the feelings that we have inside right now. Let's go forward into life with those. Take them to the next moment and the moment after that. And let's see what we can create today and it contributes to a new and better world.
Let's do it. Let's send heart energy out to each other. And we'll start here with you, the viewers. Thank you for being on this conscious journey with us and for doing the wonderful things out in the world that you're doing and in your homes. And so on a thank you note, we're going to just pan the camera back so you can see all of the team here. Jim Gray, Noah, here we go. So you can see the team here. So that's Jim Gray over on my left side, and that on my right side, that's Noah. Okay. These are the brilliant individuals that make this whole broadcast possible, and let Howard and I just sit here and yak away for an hour. So big thank you to Noah, Jim Gray, also to Garth Catterall, Karen Gordon, D. Meyer. So thank you to these other partners as well that are out there on the Facebook pages and things. So, and we'll end with a thank you to you viewers. Thanks for spending time with us on your Friday afternoon. And it's been a true pleasure. We'll be back with you live next week with Cynthia James as our special guest. And Howard Martin, namaste, brother, to you and HeartMath. It's been truly a pleasure to be with you.
Be well, team. Be well, everybody. Take good care. Bye-bye now.
All right. Have a fabulous Memorial Day weekend, everybody. Okay. All right. Take care.